The WRC is reaching boiling point. In the race for the Drivers' Championship, 3 drivers arrived at this penultimate event in Spain, separated by just 3 points. Sebastian Loeb, Mikko Hirvonen and Sebastian Ogier have all been seeking to gain the upper hand over the last 3 days. And any bonus points they can pick up from the live power stage will also be very useful. As ever, the power stage is the final stage of this event. That starts in around 10 minutes. So far, Loeb has been dominating in Spain. He's been fastest on both the gravel and tarmac stages that make up this event. So he's in championship pole position going into this final day. Mikko Hirvonen struggled in the dust and gravel on day 1, but he's maintaining his challenge, holding a top 3 position. But Sebastian Ogier has been slowed by punctures. He started today outside the podium places. Spain's Catalonia region has been the long-time host to this event, with the 18 gravel and tarmac stages taking place to the south of Barcelona. Rally HQ and the service park are situated in the holiday resort of Salou on the Costa Dorada. And here are those all-important championship standings. Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen are both on 196 points in the drivers' title race. Loeb holds the top spot thanks to his greater number of wins, while Ogier is just 3 points behind on 193. It's a bit more clear-cut in the Manufacturers' Championship. Citroën are 54 points ahead of Ford. The French team could claim that title by the end of the power stage. And the weather has closed in here in Spain. We've had a heavy rain shower in the last half an hour. It's going to make this final stage really treacherous. Around 8 minutes to go until the first car arrives. There's a traffic roundabout down there. We just saw it. It's at the end of the power stage. Always been a really popular spectator point. The fans are all covered up. A terrific atmosphere building out here, despite the inclement conditions. The Col de la Teixeta power stage is a 4.3-kilometre sprint on some classic Catalan roads that flow along the side of a valley. The only break in rhythm will be when the cars negotiate that roundabout, where the fans are gathered just before the end. And the prize for the fastest driver, 3 bonus points to add to their tally in the overall classification. Second place gets 2 points, third place 1. And how crucial could they be in that fight for the championship? The Rally de España got going beneath the palm trees of Salou's seafront, where the home nation's Danny Sordo was the star attraction at the ceremonial start. With the cars going out with a gravel setup for Friday's stages, the drivers would have been thinking that the short tarmac sections were where they might be caught out, but it was on the long gravel sections where the headlines were made. Peter Solberg's day ended on the very first stage when he clipped a concrete drain, removing a wheel. And this same lump of stone would also cause the downfall of Ken Block.
Right, 2 plus, don't cut, narrow, repeat it. Jesus.
Championship hopeful Mikko Hirvonen in the Ford Fiesta was avoiding any such mishap, but the gravel was creating a serious problem for him, with the reduced visibility caused by the hanging dust trail left by the car ahead.
Okay.
And the car ahead was his main rival for the championship, Citroën Sebastian Loeb. For once, being first on a gravel stage was an advantage, as he used his clear view of the stage to top the standings at the end of the first morning. But Ford had another card to play in Jari-Matti Latvala. With the gaps between cars increased, Loeb's road order advantage was significantly reduced for the afternoon stages. The Finn set about reeling in the Frenchman, taking the lead on stage 4, a lead which he doubled on the following test. But his fine run came to a halt on the day's final night stage when this spin and a puncture cost him over half a minute. There was some encouragement at the end of the day for Latvala's teammate Hirvonen, who moved closer to Loeb in the standings when he took third place away from Sebastian Ogier, who was slowed by a puncture.
Attention droite 135 moins, ouais.
The Salou Service Park was a hive of activity at the end of the first day as the team's mechanics worked to transform the gravel spec WRC cars into low-riding tarmac machines for day 2. 2 drivers would not be seeing the tarmac stages though. Peter Solberg, who decided to preserve his Citroën for the final round in Wales, and Kimi Räikkönen also elected not to restart after a fuel leak on stage 3. The first day of tarmac started well for Sebastian Loeb. He was fastest in the first 2 stages. But Latvala was pushing hard to catch him. He set 3 fastest stage times to erode the Frenchman's lead throughout the day, but he would return to Salou still the best part of 30 seconds behind. Sébastien Ogier suffered another puncture on the opening stage of day 2, dropping him down to 6th behind the minis of Danny Sordo and Chris Meek. However, he soon made up time to recover 5th place. Ogier is under orders not to fight his teammate for the driver's title, but those team orders were starting to look academic, with Loeb still out in front. Mikko Hirvonen was maintaining his challenge for the championship. He held his 3rd place throughout the day. He was a long way behind the front 2, but still had to keep pushing to hold off the challenge from Danny Sordo. The Spaniard posted his first fastest stage time of the event on stage 11, consolidating his hold on 4th. His aim must be to make it onto the podium again on his home event. So this was the state of play going into this final day of the RACC Rally Catalunya on Spain's Costa Dorada. Loeb leading Latvala by 27.6 seconds. Hirvonen is nearly a minute and a half behind his teammate. He's followed by Danny Sordo and Sébastien Ogier. Just a few minutes now until the first car enters the power stage. This twisty road snakes its way alongside the edge of the valley. You can see there's a new replacement bypass below. The road used for the power stage is actually closed to the public these days, and those parked cars give you an idea how many fans are up here. And Col de la Teixeta will be the last of 6 stages on this final day. Here's a roundup of what's happened in the previous 5. After losing time to Latvala over the course of the second day, Loeb was in no mood to concede any more ground to the Finn. He made up 3.6 seconds on the opening stage of the day. Latvala fought back in the following stages, but his pressure was still not enough to force any errors from the rally leader. In the crucial fight for 3rd place, Hirvonen started well by making a few seconds back from Danny Sordo in the day's opening test. But the time gained would soon become academic. After picking up a right rear puncture in the 2nd stage of the morning, Sordo lost half a minute, all but ending his hopes of catching the Ford man, and it allowed Ogier to close right up. That was until the previous stage though. We've had late drama here in Spain. Ogier is out with an engine problem in the penultimate stage. So Sordo is safe in 4th, and there's now 2 minis in the top 5 with Meek moving up. Also, as we saw in France, Ford have called in team orders to get Latvala to drop behind Hirvonen to give him the best chance possible in the Drivers' Championship. Before we get going, let's take a closer look at the 4.32 kilometres that make up the power stage. It will be high speed most of the way on this smooth flowing piece of tarmac and double lane all the way. As you can see, this strip of road hangs high up on the side of the valley, so big problems if you lead the road on either side. Constant cornering as well, and as they approach the flying finish, the cars will slow as they negotiate a hairpin left around that famous roundabout. This is how the WRC crews line up. Khalid Al-Qasimi is first in his Ford Fiesta. He's followed by Jere Lemes, who's driving a Skoda Fabia S2000 for the Volkswagen test team. Dennis Kuipers has moved into the points on this final day after the retirements for Wilson and Ogier. Then comes Evgeny Novikov, who switched from a Ford to a Citroën on this event. And Federico Villagra is back for his first event since June. Then it's M Sport Norwegians, Henning Solberg and Mads Osberg. Mini's Chris Meek is taking on a power stage for the first time, but the fans will save their biggest cheers for his teammate Danny Sordo. Then it's our top 3. Mikko Hirvonen, he's now past Jari-Matti Latvala, and both will go all out to try and take points from the rally leader Loeb, but that's easier said than done on tarmac. So it's our first tarmac power stage not run in a city centre, and this test will be the quickest asphalt power stage we'll see in 2011. It's really going to be classic Catalan action out there, isn't it?
Well, it is, and that rain shower that we had, or heavy rain shower we had about 15 minutes ago, is just going to add a little bit of spice to it. Khalid got 25 seconds to go. But I tell you what, Khalid now will be finding some information out about the conditions to pass back to his team, where the water is, where the rain is. Helicopter hovering over as we look across the valley.
Yeah, it's really a game changer. It's stopped raining now, but it was a really, really heavy shower just minutes ago, really. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the conditions have changed. Here we go, Khalid Al-Qasimi into the stage, and let's get our first look at this Col de la Chaceta power stage.
Obviously, these guys are on the same tyres that they took in the service. They've done 2 stages. Now, we believe most cars are on hards, but we do know that minis have taken soft tyres all over the place. So these cars are going to be moving around quite a lot. They're on a harder tyre. You see the car sliding around. Oh, he's going to be
really lucky not to spin there from Khalid.
He's on a recce run for Hervenen and Latvala. Seriously, he will be. They'll be feeding as much information back after this stage to their 2 drivers. Obviously, they've got a few minutes to go. You can see the standing water there.
Yep.
Touch the white lines. They're painted. They are really, really tricky. You don't want to be on the white lines, but they have no option because the racing line is across them. The dotted ones aren't so bad. It's the solid white lines that are the tricky ones. You see the water coming out the back. You've got to watch your braking. This morning when they did it, it was bone dry. Now it's a completely different ball game.
Oh, he's almost lost it again. Really, really slippery out there. And none of these drivers are really on the right tyres.
Well, they've not. I can't. When did they drive in the wet on these new tyres? I'm trying to think now. I don't think they have driven in the wet on these new tyres with the Michelin's. You've got a soft and a hard compound. Obviously, harder is more durable for hotter conditions. The soft is for like cooler conditions and damp. They don't have none of them have got a wet. They do have that option, but they didn't take it at lunchtime. So that is not an option for them. They're on what they call a racing tyre, a moulded slick. Understeering like mad in there. It's a moulded racing slick, and you have a hard or a soft compound. Minis have got softs because they thought it was going to rain earlier than it did, as we just wait for Khalid to come through. So yeah, Khalid, I believe most of them are on hards. We definitely know that the minis are on softs, and they could be in the prime seat this weekend. Again, you see the spray and the lines is leaving.
Yeah. Well, this is a massive variable that's been thrown into the mix on this final power stage. And of course, with the championship now basically between Loeb and Hirvonen, with Ogier going out, as we just said, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what these guys can do.
I think right now the car of Hirvonen has just got to get through. You can't, because you never know what could happen. Loeb could have a spin in here, anything. So you've just got to get through. It's very tricky. Let's listen to Khalid. Let's listen to Michael Orr.
60. Left 3 tightens.
I'd be intrigued to see what they say after the stage when they go across the finish. If we can hear in, I'm not sure whether we still will be
there. He's all over the place, really having to tiptoe his way through. We're really high up here as well, so this sudden rain shower has caught people out. They would have had weather.
The winning time this morning was 2:37. He's got another slide on here. It's great to watch.
It is great to watch. I mean, just getting through it's going to be enough of a challenge for some of these drivers. The fans are going to be in for a treat, and we saw a big old slide from Khalid here this morning. Let's see him this time. Big squeal of the tyre.
It's now drying at the stop line. Yeah. The sun is out where we are here.
3:11.1, and as you said, that's a lot slower. Almost, over half a minute slower than we saw this morning. It is incredibly slippery out there, and anything could happen in the next 50 minutes or so. This is going to be a thrilling finish.
The shake of the head from Michael. I mean, obviously you've got to use the lines, but you don't want to be on the white lines as much as you can. A nice power slide through there.
Incredibly close to spinning, though.
Yes, very close to spinning. Once it starts like that, driver-wise, you turn into the slide and plant the throttle, because the front wheels will drag you in the direction of where they're parked.
Back on the start line, it's local star Jere Lemes. He's driving the Skoda Fabia S2000 car. This is the Volkswagen test team. And the first chance I think we've had to see these guys in the power stage. They've been developing a lot of stuff behind the scenes with the new Volkswagen Polo R. For now, they're using their sister company, Skoda's Fabia S2000 cars. And, well, this youngster here, Jere Lemes, he's a real star of the future, I think.
He is. Lemes has been really impressive. He's set some great stage times this weekend. And impressive, really is. He's been as high as 14th. I mean, he's doing a really, really good job. He's a lot neater and a lot smoother. Obviously, he doesn't have quite as much power as what Khalid had under his right foot there. But I mean, Lemes obviously knows the roads a little bit more. He's just a lot neater. He could actually end up being quicker than Khalid because there's none of this drifting and sliding around.
Yeah, you will know these roads very well. Being a local driver, they're quite specialised. It's very different to the tarmac power stages we've seen in the city centres of Germany and France. This is the closest we get to circuit racing out here in Spain. All about finding the best racing line.
Driving on wet tarmac is in my opinion, is horrendous. Anybody who says they like driving on wet tarmac is either stupid or telling lies.
Yeah, 7/10 of a second down on that time from Khalid Al-Qasimi, but this isn't a bad effort, obviously, for Jere Lemes in the normally aspirated Super 2000 Skoda here. It's very interesting to see this Volkswagen test team this year. It's not just about evaluating new young drivers, it's also good for the team. Volkswagen obviously had a lot of success in the Dakar cross-country series in recent years, but it's all been about developing their knowledge and for the mechanics and engineers in a WRC event, as well as trying out a few parts as well sometimes, I'd imagine, for the Volkswagen Polo as well. And they're supposed to be joining the championship in 2013. Terrific to see them already out here in the stages in 2011. And Jere Lemes, well, he's done the team proud this weekend.
He's done a great job this weekend.
Good cheer from his compatriots. Whoa, and a nice power slide through the roundabout as well. Let's have a look at his time compared to Khalid. 3:11.3, just 2/10 of a second down. Khalid and co-driver Michael Orr waiting patiently at the stop control. Plenty of fans down there as well who are going to be getting a close-up view.
I think by the time we're getting the likes of Latvala, Loeb, Hirvonen, I think we could be in under the 3 minutes. That sun is really warming up the tarmac on the second half of the stage. Also, the more cars that go over it will maybe dry a line. It's not as specific a racing line as Formula One because they're a bit more sliding around, but there is a bit of a line going. Dennis Kuipers could excel, used to driving on tarmac back in Holland, so he's wet tarmac's maybe not so much as a fear for him.
Yeah, he's just fresh from his best ever finish in the WRC back in France, so he'll be full of confidence. He's taken his time to get going this weekend, struggled a bit on the gravel on the first day, but he is now in the points following these late retirements we've had for Matt Wilson and then dramatically for Sébastien Ogier in the previous stage. So Dennis Kuipers comes into this final stage now in 9th place and on course for a couple of championship points, as he's done a number of times this on his first season.
Lovely slide out of that corner. If you can get it right and you know you can work it on the throttle, it's beautiful to be able to drift the cars in and out of the corners. It's the understeer that the drivers hate because they've got no control over the understeer. The car just pushes and pushes and pushes. Oversteer, they've got some control over.
Terrific view from our helicopter here, and you can see how much this road winds its way around the edge of the valley.
So tentative though, every corner.
You can actually see a shadow there. That's actually the sun coming out, which is, as you say, going to standing water as well in some places. It's going to be really interesting to get down to the sharp end with people like Loeb and Hirvonen, who are absolutely desperate for every point they can get. 2.9 seconds up on that best time from Khalid Al-Qasimi. This is a good run from Dennis so far with Belgian co-driver Frédéric Leclerc. Let's have a listen.
Links 22 lang. En links 15 vol. 22 lang. En links 15 vol. Om 100. Rechts 25. Om 80.
Locked up slightly under braking there. That was what that juddering was. And that's the tricky bit, is getting your braking right. But understeer is the thing that they fear, because once they start to turn, they get understeer there. Nice power slide through there.
Yeah, it's really a case of just sort of feeling your way, isn't it? I mean, the grip levels are so much easier to judge on bone-dry tarmac on this slick asphalt surface this afternoon. It really is going to be a lottery.
The grip difference from the start to the finish, because obviously the tyres are getting warmer as well. Yeah. The road's drier, the tyres are warmer. It's like two different stages.
Whoa, nice slide again around the roundabout. Big cheer from the Spanish fans there. 3:06.5.
Much quicker than anybody else.
Up on Khalid Al-Qasimi. Well done, Khalid. Another rally finished.
He was finding out the road for everyone else. Not that they can see anything from the start, but information can go between the teams. They're all in communication, so I wouldn't be surprised if the likes of Khalid and Dennis Well, now we're getting information back to Jari and Mikko in their team. Obviously, Citroën have some privateers, one coming next.
Yeah, there's a confirmation then that Dennis Kuipers has set the time to be 3:06.5, still around half a minute slower than the time we saw this morning. Khaled Al-Qasimi and Lemesh, who are in the top three at the moment. Our fourth car in is Evgeny Novikov, who's switched from a Ford Fiesta to a Citroën DS3 for this weekend. He's assessing a possible switch for 2012. He's actually yet to finish in the points. Actually, I don't think he's yet to finish a rally without super rallying this year so far, but he's done well so far in his first ever drive in the DS3.
Yeah, and the last time he was here in Spain in a Citroën, it was a disaster for him. 2 accidents in 2 days, and he's only got about 4Ks to go now to get that car through. Denis Giraudet, let's have a listen to the experienced Frenchman.
Right one hard late gas, left one short, open 40 long, right 3 late, and 40 long, right 3 late.
Yeah, great to see Evgeny finally on course for a point-scoring finish. I just hope he can make it through these last couple of kilometres, because he's had a calamitous season really so far, but well, he's also benefited from these couple of late retirements. He's on course for his 7th, finally getting a strong finish under his belt, and yeah, as we said, finally the experience. 3.9 seconds up, really good run here from Evgeny. I was about to say, finally this experience of Denis Giraudet beginning to tell with the young 21-year-old Russian. Denny, of course, having driven with the likes of Didier Auriol and even Juha Kankkunen he's won rallies with in the past. A really, really experienced campaigner, Denny.
Yeah, he's a man who's got so much experience. And I think this is where some of the frustration has been with Denny recently, with Evgeny. So Evgeny's just not been listening all the time. Denny's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt. Yeah. And he's been asked to sit in and be employed by Novikov to train him and help him. And then he's not been listening sometimes. And that's where Denny's experience is really coming in. And this weekend, in about a kilometre's time, it might just all start to click. Novikov is a massive talent. He just needs to finish the rallies.
Yeah, this
we could be down under 3 minutes if he gets through here quickly.
Definitely getting, you can visibly see the track drying out. Well, just a shade over 3 minutes, 3:1.2, but that's 5.3 seconds quicker than Denis Kuipers. So Novikov.
The road is drying so much. Evgeny's probably said about the condition of the road or something. He doesn't realise how much quicker it's getting. Every time a car comes through, the sun is out, and it's drying the road as well as the cars. As we were talking about, the cars are going through the stage, and we will see how much more we can get it closer and closer. Belagro, he couldn't know, he didn't want this rain because he's had a torrid weekend. Arriving late, only doing a 1 day of recce, the new stages. Last thing he wants is more time in the car on the wet surface instead of the dry.
Yeah, he actually got held up by a volcano erupting in Peru, another volcano ash cloud out there in South America. It delayed his departure from Argentina, but we're great to see him here. I think he only managed to recce the stages he hadn't seen before, so not ideal preparations.
No, it's not ideal preparations, but helicopter tracking Federico through the stage there as he winds his way up the side of the mountain. As you said, this road not used by the general public now. Nice bypass down past it. It's a lovely bit of road. It's got some cambers in it and some dips and dives. It's a little bit like New Zealand, but on tarmac, but obviously a bit wider. That road definitely looking drier now.
And as you say, it's a very different dynamic to a lot of the other tarmac rounds we see in the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, we do have the smaller, narrow sections on this rally, but predominantly it's this wide, double-width road, high speed. It's like circuit racing, you know what I mean? It really is a high-quality surface.
Yeah, new co-driver as well for Federico, Diego Coletto, alongside the multiple Argentine champion for the first time this weekend. Difficult weekend for them, and well, it's a shame they're not going to finish in the points in what I think is going to be their last event of the season.
That's it, there's just little bits of standing water. 3.6 down on the quickest time, which is Novikov.
Yeah, fairly tentative. Just wanted to make it through here, I think, Federico. Well, as we say, if it is drying out with every passing car, it could have, of course, well, it's going to be an advantage for everyone running later on, but I wonder how much of an advantage Sebastian Loeb will have on the man ahead of him, Mikko Hirvonen, because Every point counts now at this incredibly late stage in the championship. Remember, Loeb and Hirvonen arrived in this rally tied on exactly the same points in the championship. It really is becoming a thrilling climax to the 2011 season.
Be interested to see what approach the people further down the order. As I said, they've got no access to pictures here, so they can't see how the road is drying out. I mean, again, Federico will probably be spoken to by the team to give some latest input.
Yeah, still got a couple of other Ford drivers to come as well.
Here he comes into the roundabout. Just not wanting to take any risk. The problem is when you lock up on the brakes, once you lock up, you just kind of go straight to where the scene of the accident is. Yes. You know what I mean?
4 seconds slower than Evgeny Novikov. That was a fairly tentative run from Federico.
As you say, last rally for him in the Fiesta this season.
Yep.
Not contesting Rally GB.
So Evgeny Novikov and Denis Jourdain have a bit of a longer wait down there. There a little while. It's a very impressive time, I think, from the Russian.
Yeah, it's a good time. Let's see what Henning can do. Henning likes to drift the car a little bit around, so this might quite suit Henning. But again, a lot of these drivers very limited on wet weather tarmac driving. That's the thing. It's not many of them would have done it. I know when Ford had their big test in Germany, they did have rain on their test, but testing and rallying are two different things.
Yeah, and Henning, well, he doesn't really get much testing anyway, does he? So, yeah, he's not doesn't have that much confidence on tarmac. He enjoys driving it, but he's not a natural tarmac driver by any means. So, we could see a rather spectacular run. There's confirmation there that terrific time, really, from Evgeny Novikov is the one to beat. 3:01.2. Dennis Kuipers and Federico Villagra making up the top 3 positions at the moment as we watch Henning Solberg follow this snaking road around the valley edge.
That's it. Seems to be a lot. Let's listen to the pace notes. This morning we heard some description of the road really well. Let's listen to what Ilka's saying.
100. Line to 3 left minus. 80. Line to need 4 right, half long. In short 5 left. In 5 right, half long. 40.
1 second down on that time from Evgeny Novikov.
That's right. Not bad at all. You hear Ilka saying there, line left 3 minus. What that basically means is get over to the right because the next corner is a left. So that's what she means by line. So Henning obviously wanting to know exactly where to place the car on the road as well as what corners coming up.
It's good to see a few tyre marks. We saw this morning as well, where the previous cars not so much skid marks, it's just where they're, as you say, they're sort of hard on the brakes and leaving a mark. That's actually going to improve the grip as well as the drying.
Well, in the rain, though, it makes it worse.
Oh, of course.
The rubber makes it worse in the rain. You need to kind of take the wider line to keep off it. But now there's not enough water, I don't think. It was earlier on where the water was bad. I mean, there's not a lot of spray coming out of the back of those cars now.
Yeah, it's visibly drying, certainly compared to the first run through from Khalid Al-Qasimi.
A little bit just on the brakes, just locking up on the white line there.
I think Henning's
unfortunate. I think that might have just cost him it.
Yeah, he's slower than Evgeny. 1.4 seconds down, but Henning does slot into second place. Denny having a bit of a chat.
And coming into the roundabout, I think he had a chance. He just a little bit cautious in the roundabout there, but at the end of the day, Henning doesn't want to throw away his overall position coming into the final roundabout of the rally.
No. Yeah, good run for Evgeny. Didn't take long to adjust to the Citroen DS3. Back on the start line, Mads Osberg screaming into the stage.
Let's see if Mads can topple the Russian.
Terrific acceleration, isn't there, on these cars? There's no launch control, but they really do fly off into the stage.
This end of the stage is still a lot wetter because obviously the rain did blow from the finish across to the start. So it is a lot wetter still at the start of the stage.
Yeah, well, Mads has had another terrific run this weekend. He had a couple of problems technically. He didn't arrive with ideal preparation either coming here, but been another good weekend for the young Norwegian, and we've had confirmation he will be back for Rally GB as well. So terrific to see the M Sport Stobart driver able to complete the season.
He's working that car pretty hard as well. He's kind of like really being aggressive on the turning. Help get some tyre temperature into that car. But you can see just slightly drier bits in there. It's probably better for a driver's confidence to be wet towards the start and drying, rather than getting the confidence going at the start on a dry road and then hitting the wet road.
Yeah, so that's 3:01.2. That's the time he's aiming to beat from the man who's actually normally his teammate, Evgeny Novikov.
Bit of understeer and oversteer. It started all of a sudden to oversteer, then he went into understeer, and then he went to oversteer. Just quick flick of the wheel and a bit of acceleration, maybe a little bit of left foot braking.
Standing water.
Yeah.
That left-hander as well. Still very tricky. 2.1 seconds up though on Evgeny Novikov. This well, it really is a terrific run from Mads. You quite often see that the runs that look tidier.
That's it. It's neat and tidy, isn't it? It is neat. Let's listen to Jonas.
Kort 5, i kort 6 höger, upp i 3 höger, minus, halv lång. 53, smal 3 vänster, minus, håll in. I kort 3 höger, så öppnar, håll in.
Denny watching him nervously. They know they could be in trouble this time.
Yep, their position there is under threat, that is for sure. It's a mature run through this stage for Mads as well.
I don't think Loeb and Heaven are going to enjoy this this last run much.
No, I mean, that's it. A lot to lose, isn't there, for the pair of them?
A lot to lose and a lot to gain.
Still quite a lot of water in the braking area. Not surface water, but it's damp in the braking area for the roundabout.
Yeah, big slide from Mads around the roundabout, but I think he's going to go quickest. 2:57.24 seconds quicker than Evgeny Novikov. The Russian says, thank you very much, but that is another good one, a first good position.
20 slower than the run in the dry this morning. That's 4 kilometres, 20 seconds slower.
And Mads, that's at least 6th place as well secured. Evgeny, he'll be happy to have scored his first points finish of the season in 7th. We'll wait for the next car in, which should be our first Mini, Chris Meek.
Now, we are hearing they are on the soft tyres. That has been confirmed by the team. So let's see. Meek's got a chance. Meek and Mini and Sordo in the Mini have got a chance here. They've got to take the most if they can and be brave where the tyres, even towards the end where it's drier, the softer tyres will help. And we're about to see how much help. Obviously the cars and the driver experience is a lot more than what we've had before. But how much is going to be the tyres, we will see. I mean, it visibly looks quicker. Yeah,
and how much is though? Which just depends as well how much those soft tyres have been affected by the 2 previous stages as well. Of course, they've had to run one of those good length.
But look at he's proper commitment. Proper commitment in here.
Yeah, it's actually the first time we've seen Chris Meek in a power stage this season. Terrific view from the opposite side of the valley there. You can see our helicopter tracking Meek every step of the way. But yeah, I was about to say, this is the first time we've seen Chris Meek in a power stage.
This split could be a big chunk underneath what we've seen so far.
Yeah, Danny Sordo only recently got the first points in a power stage.
Nice, beautiful slide. He's just on it all the way. Come on, Chris. Now, obviously, as well as talking, first time we've seen Chris in a power stage, I think I'm correct in saying this could be Chris's first points.
Yeah, it will be, yeah. Chris's first ever WRC points on offer. And well, with Ogier going out as well,
nice drift.
It should be 8.1 seconds. I tell you what, that soft tyre choice doesn't look like much of a gamble anymore. And Mads and Jonas, well, I don't think you're going to be stood there very long at this rate, chaps.
Let's listen to Paul Nagel as he powers Chris up the hill here.
Into right 100, line to right for don't cut for 6. Keep in,
The thing is, as well, with both of these mini guys with the soft tyre,
a lot wider there, but because he's carrying so much more speed to what we've seen anyone else in this stage.
Well, the thing is, there's here as well. This could affect the championship because, yeah, it's gonna make Mikko Hirvanen's challenge to get into the points that much more difficult.
Well, I think Mikko's challenge of getting in the points potentially is a non-starter anyway. There's too much to lose by pushing to try and get 1 or 2 more points.
Certainly in these conditions. Mads Osberg's the time to beat, 2:57.2. Chris Meek.
I think what they...
Nice slide around the roundabout. Let's have a look. Let's see what he can do. He should be a lot quicker here.
45.7.
2:45.7.
Now, see, what can happen here? 11.5 seconds quicker. That is, a lot of that is a soft tyre. A lot of that is a soft tyre. Now, what we've got to look at here, though, is what do Ford do? What do Ford do? I mean, if Mini can lock out those top 2 places, Loeb is going to be the last one. Do they send Latvala down the road as fast as they can to try and get Loeb completely out of the power stage points?
Well,
I think we've got to see where Mikko comes first. That's where we've got to look at.
Well, that's definitely now the benchmark from Chris Meek. 2:45.7 on those soft tyres. What a terrific decision that was from the Mini guys and the Pro Drive team that run them. Back on the start line, Dani Sordo. Remember, this is the leading Spanish driver as well, so he'll be getting a terrific
out at the start
cheer.
now, though.
Well, he'll be getting a terrific cheer all the way through. I suppose if it is still drying, got to see what Danny can do. He's running in 4th place at the moment. He's fresh from a podium, well, 2 podium finishes we've seen Danny get in the previous 2 tarmac rounds, so we know this Mini John Cooper Works does have terrific pace on sealed surfaces.
As well as a terrific pace, though, those cars have got 4 soft tyres bolted onto them. Both Minis on the softs, they work in cooler, damper conditions, better than the hards. The hards are more designed for a bone-dry, hotter condition. The road is damp. The condition is slightly wet. When the sun is coming out, I tell you what, another 5 minutes and these tyres probably won't have worked. Let's see if it is going to be enough, because obviously the guys coming behind them, there's 3 of them still to come. They are on the hard tyres, and this might just still work for Mini.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it's going to be yet until that split comes up, but the softer tyre works better in the damper and cooler conditions than the hard tyre in the high temperatures and bone dry. Sordo, again, like Meek, is really on it. He's slower than Meek. He's 0.4 slower than Meek.
It was a terrific
That'll
run.
upset the locals.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was a terrific run from the Northern Irishman. He stood there watching his teammate at the stop control alongside co-driver Paul Nagel. Terrific to see Chris in the power stage for the first time in 2011. He's also going to score, as we said, his first WRC points.
We scored those now.
Yeah, well, let's just see what Sordo can do through the final couple of kilometres now. Listen to Carlos Del Barrio. Danny does have terrific form in his home event. He's finished 2nd here on 4 occasions, but what an impact.
The locals are getting ready.
Yeah, here come the fans. Let's listen to the roar.
I don't think it's going to be enough. It's going to have to be a big push in the second half of the stage. Let's see.
2:45.7, the time to beat. It's going to be close. 2/10 of a second. Look at Chris Meek's reaction.
That's a big thing for Chris Meek. Massive
He's
thing for Meek.
really happy with that.
To beat your teammates.
Well, he's beaten his teammates, and you never know. Well, the Spanish fans are cheering. I'm not sure they're aware that their countryman's not quite beaten the best time at the moment, but the real reason he's cheering is this could well be the time to beat that could secure a power stage win for Mini for the first time, and for Chris on his very first run in one.
That is a big thing for Chris Meek. Look at that. That means so much to them. I tell you what, what's it going to be like when we start, if they're quicker than Herven and if they're quicker than Latvala? Tell you what, they'll be running around celebrating as if they've won the winning goal in the World Cup.
Such a fine balance as well. We don't know how much that road is going to dry out and when the hard compound factor will come into play. It's still very damp out there. Mikko Hirvonen back on the start line. He's on course to claim a 2nd place finish, and I tell you what, he'd have bitten your hand off if you'd have offered him 2nd place in Spain before this rally, wouldn't he?
He would have, yeah. I mean, again, he has been helped in the team game by Latvala. Latvala was basically chasing and trying to pressure Loeb, and Loeb, as we know, so far, he hasn't made any mistakes. So Latvala having to slow down and let Mikko back past.
2:45.7 the time to beat. Dani Sordo in 2nd place. Mads Osberg, well, he's well adrift in 3rd. So we've got to see what Mikko Hirvonen can do. Be surprised if he really goes for it.
I'd be surprised if he goes for it. I think he's...
But every point, this is again, we keep saying, we said at the start of the year,
every point matters. I mean, at the minute, how many points he got? He's got 14 points from the power stage during the season. And we've said so many times that, no, they won't take the gamble. And then they come in and they go firing at it with all guns blazing.
Yeah, and obviously Ford will be watching with interest as our helicopter follows Mikko around, because depending on what Mikko does here, it'll have a massive impact in what they decide to ask their 2nd driver, Jari-Matti Latvala, to do.
Yeah, I think if he is out of the top 3 now, they've got to send Latvala on a bit of a mission, because the Manufacturers' Championship is really gone. They've got to send their man out on a mission to try and topple 7.1 down. That's the difference between soft and hard.
Yeah, it's definitely still the Minis who are in pole position, not drying out quite enough. But I tell you what, I doubt even Latvala and even the master, Sebastian Loeb, are going to affect that unless it dries out dramatically in the next 10 minutes or so. The best Hirvonen could hope for here, I think, is a 3rd place finish. And as we said, he's got 2nd place to worry about as well.
Yeah,
Vasen hidas tiukka.
I would say 3/4 of his tyres. The rest is Mikko not wanting to make a mistake. He's got this position. He is still massively in this championship fight with what he's got. He would look so stupid by spinning and dropping the positions and time and doing potential damage. So, but the tyre is the key in this stage.
Yeah, as you say, he's not going to trouble the time of Chris Meek or Danny Sordo.
Ford have got to make a decision now of what they do. Does Latvala go slower? I suppose if he's down in 5th or 6th, if
well, let's see if he gets third first. 2:56.4. Yeah, he does slot into third, so he bumps Osberg out of the top 3. Doesn't trouble Chris Meek's time.
I tell you now, they've got a dilemma. I personally think you've got to send Latvala as fast as you can. My opinion, because
it's unlikely
Loeb is going to probably get in the podium.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'd send Latvala down the road as fast as he can possibly go.
Yeah, I mean, Loeb, he is the best sealed service driver ever, and he's no slouch in tricky conditions as well, so you're probably right. There's nothing to lose now for Jari-Matti Latvala.
He's got massive understeer. From looking at that, I think he is on a push, because that was huge understeer. He was drifting wider and wider.
Yeah, they really have got nothing to lose now. He's already conceded his position to Mikko Hirvonen, and unless Loeb has a late drama, Citroën will still claim the Manufacturers' Championship this afternoon. So basically, there's absolutely nothing to lose here for Jari-Matti Latvala.
No, I think he's got to try and get as close to the minis as possible, which will then bump Loeb out.
Exactly.
That's my opinion of what they've got to do.
No, exactly. Absolutely nothing to lose. Well, this is going to be very interesting now, and of course, I guess all he needs to do really is just absolutely go for it and just keep the pressure on Loeb to kind of tempt Loeb into going for it, because well, and as we've seen already this weekend, certainly yesterday, Jari-Matti Latvala is on an absolutely stunning run of form at the moment. Certainly the best we've ever seen him do on tarmac, and all that hard work with his circuit racing tuition, it's really paid dividends now. Jari-Matti Latvala actually beat Loeb over the course of the second day, which you just don't see on tarmac. Incredible performance from the Finn this weekend.
It was an absolutely amazing performance. He's drifting around. Let's listen to Mikko Latvala as they head up the hill. 5 down, but that's still better than Hirvonen. That's on the minis. Well, on Meek.
Yeah, it's all about getting the final points in the power stage. He's just trying to prevent Sebastian Loeb getting any more points.
Chris Meek could see that, and the smile just gets bigger and bigger.
A really good view from this bumper cam here, and just how much this road is drying. Wonder how much that's going to have an effect on
and how much road they're using. Mikko's waiting around. He wants to see what damage is done in the championship bid. Chris Meek can make Mikko Hirvonen's best mate to me. It's Chris Meek.
Yeah, well, this is, of course, I mean, Sebastian Loeb in a dry conditions probably would have been the favourite to win this power stage, but it's not going to happen unless something dramatic happens.
It would be an inspired performance by Loeb. It really would. But he's slowing down.
Well, they obviously think it's better to give Mikko Hirvonen the chance to claim that final points. Very interesting tactics there. Well, it's either or. You either give Mikko the chance to do it, or you ensure that Loeb doesn't get it.
Yeah. And let's say Loeb has a little spin or a problem, Mikko gets a point. So, surprised that he pushed so hard near the start of the stage, though.
Yeah, so maybe made a late call there, but yeah, interesting. Opposite
maybe it might be his own decision, I don't know. Or the team fired in a time and said, look, you're not going to beat the Citroën, you're not going to beat the Minis, let's just stick you behind him. So, kind of caught me out, but let's see.
Well, yeah, it's the opposite tactics to what we saw in France.
And Australia.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we thought they'd made a big boo-boo in Australia when Jari-Matti went at it, and we were like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, these power stages are certainly giving the hierarchy at Ford something to think about on these final days, aren't they?
Maybe they've been listening to us.
And do the opposite to what we suggest.
Yeah, well, this time they have. I was completely wrong this time.
Yeah, so it just remains to be seen then what the world champion Sebastian Loeb can do. He's on course to claim his 7th consecutive win in Spain, and here he is, the world champion.
He's got to do a 45.6 to win it. Now, Hirvonen is in 3rd on a 56.4. Tell you what, I'd be interested to see. Now, Mikko what was he, 7 or something seconds down at the split. Need to kind of wait for that split to come up. But Loeb's drive, again, he's just masterminded the car. Well, Van Merkstein in the stage as well.
Yep, it's Mr. Loeb that we're most concerned about at the moment, though. Remember, it's going to be about that final points for third place. You don't often hear us say that, but it's very unlikely that Loeb can get near the times of either of those minis on the hard compound tyres. Although
this is Sebastian Loeb we are talking about.
Well, if anyone could do it,
he's still very tentative. It's still very tentative. 3.6, that's quicker than Mikko, though.
Yeah, that will give him third place in the power stage and crucially the one extra point.
Yeah, but he's coming into the drier section, though.
Yeah, well, it's all about 1 point. I mean, he's already going to get 7 more than Mikko Hirvonen in the overall points. That's the lead. It's all about the lead now he's going to take into Rally GB, the final round of the season. That's just such a thrilling end to the season.
It could be 8, couldn't it?
It could be 8 points, or it could be 6 points, depending on whether or not he can beat Mikko to this final point in the power stage. And well, with just one round remaining, you never know how important this 1 point could be. These power stages basically could decide the 2011 World Rally Championship.
Well, Loeb's taken 18 points so far in the power stage to Hirvonen's 14. Let's see. It's not really that time. I think Meek's safe. I really do.
Yeah, Meek is safe.
It's a 56.3 he's got to do. 56.3. Which he's going to do easy.
50.6. No, he has taken third.
Yeah.
He's 4.9 behind Meek, but he has
won the power stage.
Yeah, Chris Meek wins the power stage, and Sebastian Loeb, he did the best he could on those hard compound tyres. Absolute delight for Chris Meek and Paul Nagel on their first ever power stage, and it's the first ever power stage for the Mini John Cooper Works as well. Terrific for the Northern Irishman. And let's have a word with Chris down at the stock control.
The flags up on the hill.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Irish flags are up on the, we saw the Irish flags up on the roundabout, so I don't think Chris could kind of breathe it. That's a massive day for
Chris,
him.
it's your first power stage win and your first WRC stage victory. Must be a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, incredible. You know, I have to say, after France we were in a bit of a downer, but coming here we settled into a rhythm all weekend, and you know, we were running 6th until Ogier had the problem. To get a 5th place and to win the power stage is yeah, something pretty special, I have to say.
And you said this morning that you were saving everything for the power stage tonight, just checking your notes, and it obviously worked out.
Yeah, we made a call with the tyres. We had to drive the 2 long stages previous to this on the softs, and yeah, we had enough cushion behind so we didn't lose a position, but it proved to be the right choice for the power stage, and yeah, all credit to the team. They've done a fantastic job.
Okay, thanks Chris, congratulations.
Thank you.
Brilliant power stage success for Chris Meek. I think that's his first stage win as well. Absolute delight for everyone back at the Mini team, and what terrific tyre choice decision that was. And of course it is Sebastian Loeb who maintains his monopoly of Spain victories, extending his record to 7 wins in Catalonia. Well, in terms of his championship hopes, it couldn't have come at a better time either, could it?
No, it couldn't have. I mean, the guy is just supreme. I mean, look at the list of rallies on that flag that he's won, but 8-point lead now he takes with him to Rally GB in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, terrific weekend for Sebastian, and that of course does confirm that Citroën also retained the Manufacturers' Championship. It's certainly been a thrilling finale on the Catalan asphalt. There are the final power stage results. That's an extra 1 championship point for Loeb and 3 for Chris Meek, 2 for Danny Sordo, a 1-2 finish for the Mini team for the first ever time, the first power stage victory for Chris Meek and for the Mini John Cooper Works. Terrific result for them, and Sebastian Loeb just pips Mikko to that final point. Crucial could that be come the end of the season? 8 points lead into the final standings. And I think we can have a word with the world champion. He's down at the stock control. A terrific finish to the weekend for him.
And Seb, another fantastic win this weekend, and your championship is truly back on track.
Yeah, we had some bad rallies just before this one. Puncture in Germany, crash in Australia, engine in France. So now to start again the season with a victory is really good. It was really important for me to score a lot of points here. We've done our best, and I think we've done a great rally.
And this has got the manufacturer's crown for Citroën, which is the main goal.
Yeah, we have now the manufacturer title. That also was very, very important. It was on a good way, but since the last rally we've done some mistake and we had some trouble, so now finally it's in the pocket. Now we can concentrate fully on the driver championship.
Congratulations, Seb.
Thank you.
Yeah, terrific result for Sebastian Loeb. There is confirmation of his win by 2 minutes in the end from Mikko Hirvonen, and Jari-Matti Latvala. Once again, I think that's been 3 rallies in a row. He's conceded a position to help his teammate in the Manufacturers' Championship. Terrific weekend for Ford as well as the Power Stage win. They also have both their drivers finish in the top 5 in the overall standings. Danny Sordo just outside the podium places at his home event. Chris Meek finishes for his first ever WRC points and his first for Mini, of course, as well, in 5th place. Mads Osberg, Evgeny Novikov, Henning Solberg, Dennis Kuipers down there in 9th, and Khaled Al-Qasimi claiming the final point-scoring place in 10th. And as we said in the Drivers' Championship, we do have a final rally showdown to come between Loeb and Hirvonen. As we said, Hirvonen just 8 points behind the world champion as we go to the final round at Wells Rally GB. Ogier doesn't get any points with that late engine failure, while Jari-Matti Latvala, he gets a bit of a bump up the standings. He's now still in 4th place, Peter Solberg still in 5th despite his no score. And Mads Osberg, he gets a boost as well, with Danny Sordo now his closest rival for 6th with that 4th place finish. And as we've said, there is confirmation. Citroën have secured the manufacturer's title for the 7th time. They're now just 3 championships away from the legendary Lancia team's total of 10, despite that non-score for Ogier. With a maximum of 43 points available in Great Britain, they now have an insurmountable lead of 46 points over Ford. Congratulations to everyone at the Citroën Total team.
A very difficult weekend, but you found some pace this morning. You got some valuable points to gain.
Yeah, it was very difficult morning, weekend, and okay, I'm happy I found some pace to just calm myself down. But you know, Jari-Matti did a fantastic job again. He's been helping me so much this weekend. But at least, you know, now we are still, everything is possible in GB, and there's just unbelievable turnaround now in the power stage as well, with all the weather and everybody were having basically wrong tires except Minis. So really good like this.
And you're just refusing to give the title to Loeb.
Well, we are still there, we're easily there, so at least we get the GP. I know the rally, I love the final over there, so you know, it's going to be a good fight.
Okay, look forward to it. Thank you, Mikko.
Thank you.
Been a terrific final stage. Let's have a look back at some of the best moments from the Spanish Power Stage. And a champagne celebration for Chris Meek, a dramatic finish. Your final thoughts on Rally Spain?
Well, Loeb again showed everyone how to drive a rally weekend rather than just 1 or 2 days, but that's a big moment for the sport, to be fair. You know what I mean? Mini only 5 rallies in, they've had podiums, they've won Power Stage now. It's just great for the sport. The more manufacturers coming in and prove that they can be successful early on.
And what delight for Chris Meek after what has been a really frustrating first few rounds for the Northern Irishman. Paul Nagel, congratulations as well. He'll be delighted with that. Finally, it's come together for Chris. We knew he had the speed. Finally, he's been able to prove it. And next up, of course, he has his home event at Wells Rally GB.
That's it. I think Chris will be one of the proudest moments today for him. He's actually...
So, just one event remains, and that is the traditional season finale. Wales Rally GB and our championship contenders, Loeb and Hirvonen, will have to be at their very best to conquer one of the toughest rallies of the year, with a new look route across the whole of Wales, and it's just over 3 weeks away. So, Loeb's Spanish domination continues. He extends his lead in the championship, but it will go down to the wire this season. Both the Frenchman and Hirvonen have won in Wales before. Ogier out of the mix now. Anything could happen, though, at the 2011 championship decider. Make sure you join us again for the final round in Wales. We'll be crazy to miss it. For now, though, it's adios.